Fighting with your partner can get intense and messy, and I'm here to help you solve problems with how to fight right with your partner. So today I'm answering a question about resolving conflict in a relationship. I'm a couples therapist, and I love helping couples learn how to resolve conflict. And this is a lesbian couple, and a member wrote in and asked this question. It says, "What do you do when your partner runs away every time you get upset? They don't want to talk. Also, when your partner gets you used to something like, for example, texting you where they are, how they are, and then they seem to stop what they used to do before because now they're so busy, but they don't ask for any help or they can't get any good help." So this is all the information I have. So I'm going to be analyzing this from an attachment style lens and also using the Gottmans method to offer suggestions on how to move forward and hopefully help out with this issue. So this is a judgment-free zone. I want to show both sides of this issue and offer some hope. My name's Catherine Sloan. I'm a licensed therapist, and I love working with lesbian and queer couples, and I have a wife myself. We have 4 amazing kids we are raising. Please subscribe to my channel and comment. Relationships often start with excitement and romance, and especially with lesbians, there's a lot of emotional intimacy. But around the 6-month mark, many couples begin to encounter their first real challenges. So congratulations, you're out of the honeymoon stage. And for some, this is when relationship struggles begin to arise. It can lead to frustration and confusion. One common issue that comes up is when one partner exhibits avoidant tendencies, like this person, especially during an argument or discussion. So this could be what's going on here. They could have avoidant attachment style or a disorganized attachment style. I'm going to address the texting issue later, but first let's talk about them avoiding conflict and what they can do to help. So let me explain what avoidant attachment is. And I've got this list here of some of the characteristics of avoidant attachment. So here's my list. It says they tend to want space during conflict. They struggle to talk about feelings, enjoy their independence, have lots of boundaries, repress or hide negative emotional states, and they struggle to ask for help. People with avoidant tendencies might pull away when things get too intense, especially if their partner has a complaint about something they might be doing wrong, or if their partner is showing a strong emotion. And this can be really frustrating when we just want to bring up an issue with our partner and talk about it, but it triggers them. And on the inside, their heart, it probably starts racing, they have shortness of breath, and the avoidant partner will withdraw, refuse to engage in the discussion, or even completely leave the situation and leaving their partner feeling abandoned, unheard, and alone. Now I want to make sure not to villainize this attachment style, because at the core it's really that the person has a strong fear of rejection and they feel not good enough. So it's their wounded child being played out as an adult in the relationship. And it happens to a lot of us. I know a lot of people can relate to wanting to flee during an argument. But I'm going to tell you what you can do to try to manage this sort of behavior with a partner, because it's really important to figure this out. And by the way, last year I made an entire video called How to Manage Your Avoidant Partner. And it was a review of Aussie and Sam from the Ultimatum Queer Love. Aussie was an extreme version of avoidant attachment, and I'm going to leave the link here up top, and you can see them playing out this cycle in the show while I analyze it. Now, how we manage conflict with a partner does predict the outcome of the relationship. So you want to tackle these issues really early in the relationship, and one thing you can do is to make sure you approach the problem with your partner in a gentle way. So the Gottmans call this a gentle startup. So a lot of people will bring up an issue with their partner by unintentionally criticizing the partner. So in anger, they might say, "Why don't you pay attention to me? Why are you always on your phone? Can't you see that I'm talking to you? You never listen to me." So this is called a harsh startup, and will cause your partner immediately to be defensive. And then you'll probably start one-upping each other. And then it'll escalate and the issue will not get resolved. And this is when one person might get so angry that they leave because they're really flooded with feelings. Now, I am not sure this is what's happening in this case, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but I'm just saying this could be happening in this situation. So a gentle startup would be approaching your partner in a calm manner and telling them what you need instead of what you don't want. For example, instead of saying, "Why don't you ever listen to me?" you'd say, "I've got something really important to tell you, so whenever you're ready to talk about it, let me know." So instead of saying, "You don't ever want to spend time with me anymore," you'd say, "I'd really love to spend some quality time with you. Can we plan something together?" So when you do this, you're stating what you want to add to the relationship, not pointing out what's missing. And this takes some real skill to learn, but you can learn how to do this. Now, somebody with avoidant or disorganized attachment is going to be really sensitive to rejection. So try to avoid criticizing them and instead focus on the issue that you want to change, not their character or how they are somehow flawed. Now, for the person who wrote in for this advice, it seems like they could possibly have anxious attachment style. Like, I don't have enough information, but let me explain, and then they'll be watching this and they can decide for themselves. So let's go back to the list that I made. Someone with anxious attachment tends to have a low self-esteem, takes things personally, gets easily offended, holds resentments, struggles to trust their partner. They're also preoccupied with the relationship and have a strong fear of abandonment. This type of person needs a lot of reassurance from their partner. Somebody with an anxious attachment style is going to be very aware of subtle changes in their partner's behavior that might signal to that the partner is withdrawing from them, even a little bit. So this might be what's going on here. This person is noticing their partner used to check in more and text more, and they're noticing a shift in their behavior, and they're getting insecure about their relationship. For most couples, this is naturally what just happens after the honeymoon phase of the relationship. After about 6 months or so, two people just sort of naturally relax more into the relationship and don't feel the urgency to reach out as much to establish connection. Now, the anxious partner is going to assume that something is wrong in the relationship if there's a shift in communication, when it could just be the natural progression of the relationship. So I want to offer 2 solutions to this. Number 1 is for the anxious partner to learn to self-soothe, which means give yourself that reassurance that you are needing from your partner in that moment. Just assume that everything is okay in the relationship unless you hear otherwise from your partner that there's a problem. Number 2, you could come up with a time for them to check in with you each day. Maybe they could just tell you, "Okay, I'm going to check in with you at 2 o'clock when I get a break." And that way you know exactly when to expect them to contact you, and you don't have to be anxious and constantly checking your phone and wondering if they're going to text you or not. So somebody with anxious attachment is the one sitting by their phone, checking their phone every 30 seconds to see if their partner's texted them. Can anybody relate to that?
Mm-hmm.
So with both of these attachment styles, each person can learn to heal these core wounds and create a secure, functioning relationship. The person with the avoidant attachment can learn how to identify their feelings and talk about it. They can learn how to sit with these feelings without running out of the door or just taking a break and then coming back. And the person with the anxious attachment can heal by learning to meet their own needs for security and not relying on their partner for validation of their worth. We can't use our attachment styles as an excuse for continuing to act out in harmful ways. The goal is to have insight, then work to change these behaviors and reverse this cycle. So one way to move on from here is to ask your partner to come up with a plan with you to handle conflict better as a couple. And this book, Fight Right, that just came out last month, is a wonderful tool for learning how to turn conflict into connection. So let your partner know what you're going to be doing personally to handle conflict differently, and ask them what the best way is for you to approach them when there's an issue that you want to discuss. Keep in mind that it takes both partners wanting to work through these issues. If your partner doesn't want to learn to resolve conflict better, then you get to decide if you are compatible with them or not. Hopefully they'll get on board with you and work through this issue with you. If you're having an issue with your partner and you want me to address it in a video, you can send an email to pridetherapy@gmail.com. Again, it's pridetherapy@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.